Hello everyone, welcome back to the ESL Pro League Season 5. It's been a fantastic season so far, but there's still more to come. And this time around, I'm joined by the wonderful Hugo. How are you doing, my man?
I'm good, I'm good. I'm happy to be here again. Happy to be casting with you, obviously. So we got some good games tonight, obviously.
Yeah, it's been a while. So, we're reunited this time around, obviously, coming into Pro League. It should be exciting. Obviously, as you saw before we got into this, it will be HellRaisers going up against G2 as the first game of the day, which should be a fun one. Your initial thoughts on that, just to touch on things quickly?
Quite interesting. Both teams near the bottom of the league in terms of their standings. G2 looking to hopefully get a bit better, at least for recently qualifying for things like Star Series, whereas HellRaisers kind of in a bit of a rut. Interesting to see which team's going to be kind of taking the lead at the bottom, taking the lead at the bottom of the standings.
Yeah, so where they're going to pan out, actually working our way through today's. And touching on standings, why don't we actually bring those up and have a look how things have been going throughout the league. Why don't you run me through this, Hugo, and give me your thoughts overall?
Obviously, you've got to look at Mousesports at the top. That's the weirdest one, right? They recently lost Nico, and we assumed after that they'd crumble, but still having a lot of dominant victories there, despite, you know, losing the main player of the team and the carry for the team. So very interesting to see how they carry on going into the league. And obviously, teams like NIP at the bottom, we've touched on this pretty much every week, right? That's just so weird seeing NIP, you know, one of the home names in CSGO esports, really stuck in a rut right now.
Yeah, a team that was dominant for so many years. You know, they went undefeated at the beginning of Counter-Strike and then working their way through. You know, only last week picking up those first initial wins to get themselves from that bottom spot, now moving up to the 13th place. Is this how you sort of assumed this would pan out there? Is there anything really crazy sticking up for you, apart from NIP's placement?
G2, we were kind of hoping they'd do a lot better, right? You know, the recent French super team kind of roster changes with MV and G2, and surprisingly MV, with the arguably worst roster, still doing better than them. So I think that's a bit of a surprise, but I think G2 are more on a slow burn. I think we can talk about that a little bit more when we go into the pre-match analysis. I think they're going to start to rise up in the tables.
Yeah, it's very interesting as well that actually Kenny S himself touched on it and said, you know, it's hard when your team you're playing under gets branded as a super team. There's a lot of pressure then gets put on you to try and work your way through that, and it is something that impacts them. So obviously G2 coming into this, it will be interesting to see where their mindsets are, more of a benchmark going into, because HellRaisers, they haven't had the best showing, but by no means have they had the worst. No,
definitely not one of the, you know, the worst teams. They are kind of bordering, but I don't think they're exactly a team that we kind of expect to get relegated in terms of the other teams that we can see in the league.
Yeah, it's true. But anyway, work our way through. Let's check out that schedule and just see what we will actually be witnessing tonight. Over on the mainstream, obviously, you're going to have Na'Vi versus FaZe to kick things off. Should be a very explosive matchup. Obviously, FaZe, the team that since the addition of Nico have been tearing things up. Nip versus Fnatic as well. Kind of a classic matchup in terms of Counter-Strike history. But over on our stream, obviously, we have Gamers 2 going up against HellRaisers. This will be kicking this off and guiding our way through Inferno and Overpass. Actually, a fairly good map pool for this series that will be cool to check that one out. And then finally, LDLC up against FaZe. So FaZe playing a lot of games tonight. We will get to see a bit of that Nico magic as well on display.
Yeah, very excited for that.
Yes, that'll be pretty awesome. What do you reckon is going to be your favourite matchup going into this, though?
You got to look at the second one, obviously, FaZe LDLC. I just love watching FaZe because you look at them as a team with such firepower and you go, that's great. And then even, you know, getting rid of AZ and bringing in Nico, now they're just 10 times better. You know, they obviously got to the grand finals of IEM Katowice, and since then they've just been doing phenomenally, at least online. So I'm really excited to carry on watching them, see how they do. LDLC as well, definitely a team kind of, they lost players to the French super team like XMS, but they're still actually performing fairly well so far in Pro League, coming up from ESL Premier in the previous season. So yeah, definitely a team to watch out for.
Something else to watch out for, guys, is going to be Pace Safeguard. Obviously, work your way through on there. There's going to be the fan vote as well, so you can check out your favourite players. If you've got some in mind, get over there, work your way through. Hugo, who are your favourite players?
Well, I think I just touched on it. Nico, you know, who doesn't love a bit of Nico, the Bosnian star, coming out of, well, really nowhere and a scene without many players, despite being, you know, now one of the best players in the world, I think is kind of obvious to say.
It's true, and he wouldn't have got there without the aid of Mountain Dew. So why don't you guys also check out the Mountain Dew League? You might as well go over there, work your way through some fantastic stuff going on. You can check out the standings and all sorts over at esca.net/MDL. Hugo, though, obviously, it is going to be a fantastic night of games. There's a lot going on the mainstream and also on our stream. But if you're going to miss out on today's games because you can't watch the games today, you can always catch those VODs over on YouTube. So get yourself over to our channel, guys. Obviously, that's where everything is going to be going down as well. We're streaming there. All of the content's there. And whilst you're over there, if you hit that subscribe button, but you're worried about missing out on some content, go ahead and ring that bell to make sure you keep updated with all the latest and the greatest here from ESL Pro League.
Sell out Jackie.
It's true. I've been working on it for many years. That's what I do. It's how I make my money.
Yeah.
But Who will win today's matchup? That is going to be the interesting question, obviously, coming into it. And why don't you tell us what you're thinking at home about that as well? You can tweet at us. You can also hit us up on Facebook. But we want to know exactly what you're thinking. What are you thinking, Hugo? You know, you've given us a little bit of an idea, a little bit of a hint. You've sorted it in there, but I want to pick your brains now for a little bit.
Yeah, so this is a really interesting matchup, especially with the map pools that we have. You kind of talked about it earlier, Inferno and Overpass being the two. Inferno, obviously the latest addition to the map pool. It's kind of hard to see where certain teams stand on it at the moment. We haven't seen a lot of games on it from some teams. For example, G2, only 2 maps logged, I think, and both of them online anyway, so kind of irrelevant, right? It's very, very hard to work out what they're going to be doing on that, and at least for HellRaisers as well, only 1 map on Inferno, and that was against Fnatic, losing 16-7. So kind of not really enough to work off of that sense, but going into Overpass, I think this is going to be interesting, because we look at G2, and just off the bat we go, the roster is better than HellRaisers, right? In theory, they should win. But then we look at Overpass, and we go, this is one of G2's worst maps. This is a map they never performed on well, at least with this roster, and not even so much as the old French roster, whereas HellRaisers are actually okay at it. So I think there's a really good upset potential that we could even see HellRaisers go above and beyond and take that second map. But to be honest, I think with the first map, even though it is inconsistent and hard to tell with the recent addition of Inferno, I still feel like G2 will probably have the edge, just being a more well-put-together team and having those big names like Shox and Kenny's that can always step up and carry you through a series. That
star potential that's there that really can shine when they kick off. And guys, as well, if you want to try and support your teams from at home or wherever you might be, why don't you pick up one of their jerseys? You can grab them from our store. You can see HellRaisers there. Wonderful-looking design. If you want to rep that, really show that you've got some pride behind you, you know, give Angel that extra bit of confidence going into that matchup.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll definitely need it.
It's true, because it will be a very feisty one to kick off the day. So leaning towards G2, obviously the team that should start to rebuild that brand for themselves. In the past, we've seen them dominate quite heavily, but it's just sort of, you know, it never really stuck when they kicked off with a new lineup. Come into it as well, what was interesting is finally we get to see the combo of Shox and Kenny S. They haven't really been able to play together throughout CSGO. It's been so hot-headed because they are 2 of the best players from the French scene in terms of their raw potential. And now they finally come together, but it's been lackluster.
Yeah, I mean, you got to touch on the Shox Kenny thing a while, obviously. Shox and Smiths, both kind of a duo, always played together in the French teams, always wanted to stick together, and that was one of the reasons that we never saw kind of Kenny fit into a roster with them, because Smiths obviously doms the AWP, and you don't want to put 2 AWPers in the same team. That typically doesn't really work out. So there's never really been, well, as of late at least, until this roster, a Shox Kenny team. But now Smiths moving to the coach role means that these 2 players can play alongside each other. And I mean, they have been doing fairly well, although inconsistent, right? Because, for example, you look at Pro League, bottom of the standings, not doing well at all, hopefully going to resurge. But then we look at other things, other online qualifiers that have been playing, such as Star Series, where they even just went straight through and qualified with only dropping 1 or 2 maps in the whole event. So I feel like they are still very talented. They recently beat Envy as well, the team that you kind of look at also in Pro League, who beat them last time they played. And we go, you know, it's really hard to kind of tell who's better because they haven't played enough matches against each other. But they finally proved it. They 2-0'd them. They really stomped them the other day in Star Series, which I casted. And so, you know, I feel like while G2 are at the bottom, and while they have been slumping in a sense, if you can even call it slumping, they're still not gone. They're still not out of this one. I definitely think they can bring themselves back. They've really just got to hit a hot streak and win a lot of games in Pro League if they want to make the cut.
And that's kind of the thing as well, obviously. We're reaching sort of that halfway point now throughout Season 5, so they need to kind of work themselves back through. Obviously, quite far down towards the bottom end of the table isn't a great space for them to be, especially not even in terms of you just look at these players. It's kind of the NIP situation as well. You do not expect them to be towards the bottom end of the table. They have so many just fantastic personalities, and also, in terms of that environment, it was discussed as a super team. And obviously, they have started to do well in other leagues, which is a lot better for them, because you want them to try and work their way back up there. They've always been sort of, you know, that top-tier team that can bring the damage. They have a fabulous lineup as well, so you expect to see that extra little bit from them. In today's matchup, obviously, it's a little bit of an easier one going up against HellRaisers, an opponent that hasn't had the best season so far, but still, HellRaisers have always kind of looked on the cusp of getting themselves back up there. Angel's always been a fabulous in-game leader, but his teammates around him never really pull his way up.
Yeah, it is a really weird one with HellRaisers, because they have such great players. Like, we look at DevBox on the AWP, and he's just such a phenomenal AWPer, but he's so inconsistent, right? And with HellRaisers, if he never steps up, the team just doesn't get going. I saw it a couple of weeks ago back on here in Pro League as well. He was playing, I think, up against Mouse, and he just didn't do anything, and they got 2-0'd by Mouse. They got absolutely destroyed, I think, on Inferno. And it's the thing, it's just the DevBox issue. If he doesn't step up, the team doesn't win. And even though they do have the good calls surrounded by Angel, still, he is just such a you know, inconsistent player. It's hard to really count on the HellRaisers to kind of take any series or take away maps from teams like G2.
Yeah, because you need everyone on the team to step up. And talking about stepping up, why don't we check out some of the best kills and the most highlight plays we've seen in the previous week. It's going to be this last week's top 5.
For the that's a lot of the Fnatic style as well, is that individual prowess. They always believe that they can come back from any scoreline. Oh! There it is.
Flash not really affecting Flamey at this stage, but he's the last man on his team. Fnatic have wiped the floor in this one. But now V with 3 gets sprayed down for Flamey.
It is going to burn automatic out, but nobody's watching it when he pushes back out. So he gets 1, he gets 2, he's got room to get more, and he's going to get 3 and 4. Automatic goes insane. He wants the intel about what's in A main and the possibility to multi-frag. Running up, gets the first and the second one, and now the rest are stuck back inside. One more kill for the CTs. Yell trying to battle close up onto the Squeaky Door. It doesn't work, but now Showtime has got the AK.
Occasion be back on that AWP. He's actually gone all the way towards end of long, and there's a real nice flashbang. That's so nice from AZ, looking for the 4-man.
Oh,
he
wow.
gets it as well.
Wow, he's going absolutely crazy there towards the end. Great stuff to watch, and that's what we expect going into it. Are we going to see that sort of flamboyancy in today's matchups? Do you think there's going to be that potential?
Yeah, definitely, because we've already touched on it. The star players, right? G2 having these tier 1 players without a doubt, Kenny and Shock. So, and not even just them. We've got a whole lineup of just very, very good talent. Even people like MBK can constantly step up, and I think that's one of the things on G2 you've got to expect. Anyone can step up, anyone can carry that scoreboard all the way to the top. So yeah, we've really got star potential, and as well, players on HellRaisers are good individually, such as Bondic, for example. He's been very, very good recently, and DevVox with the AWP, when he is consistent, is someone to watch out for.
It's true, and that's that sort of retake potential as well. Why they've been doing so well recently in terms of actually getting back up there with HellRaisers is their retakes into the late round have looked a whole lot better than they have done with the previous lineups. When Oscar was on there, it was the same sort of idea, but it didn't really come through because it was always a lot of aggression into the early game. HellRaisers now play that very slow style. It's Na'Vi-esque, it's how it always has been. But the issues were they wouldn't draw out enough utility into the early game. It was kind of on the cusp of being to that level, but never really went the way through. They had the ideology, but couldn't do it in terms of showing it on paper. Now with the new lineup and how they've been actually slightly changing some of their calling, their positioning, like there's a few defaults that have changed for the better, and you can see it actually works a whole lot nicer now in terms of their play style. It's still slow, but it's actually very useful rather than it being slow for no reason. Yeah,
I mean, that's one of the CIS calling strats, right? They're all slow. All the top CIS teams are slow. You look at Flipside, you look at Na'Vi, you look at HellRaisers. For some reason, all 3 IGLs over in that team, in these teams, just play such slow counter strike and such passive as well, especially on that CT side. I mean, you got to look at Flipside's Inferno, for example. They just play so far back. They never go for really any mid control on the CT side. They don't really have so much aggressive AWPing, even on World Edit, who is one of those AWPers who can really go off. They do like to play it passive, and I think HellRaisers, in a sense, kind of mocks that exact setup.
Yeah, it's true. And obviously as well, touching on what we spoke about a little bit earlier on the maps, it does play quite a big role coming into it. Obviously both of these are best of ones, but you still need to have your head held high in that first matchup. Coming into it as well, you're thinking it's not really going to be favouring them working their way through. Can you give me a bit of a breakdown on why you think this first map's going to be kind of a hard fight?
Well, not only do we not really know which team's going to be able to win because of the fact that these two teams haven't played the maps, also we look at the inconsistency of both teams, right? Despite G2 being those top players, not able to do so much in Pro League as of late, hopefully going to be able to step up, and I'm expecting them to take the map just out of sheer individual performance, but it's so hard to really predict. And going into HellRaisers as well, very based off the AWP. Inferno's a map where the AWP's very, very effective on T-side for getting those opening picks. You can peek up Banana, you can peek down in towards middle, and really effective. A lot of maps you don't really want to play that AWP on the T side as much, but this is definitely one where you want to have it in play. So if DevVox can step up, HellRaisers, hey, they could come in on fire, they can completely knock out G2. I don't think that's a impossible task, but to be honest, at least in my own prediction, I've got to go with a win for G2 on the first map, because it's just looking like individual performance as it always does. Are you on the same wavelength, or are you? Yeah,
I'd probably have to go with you there. Obviously, G2, you've got to work your way through. Inferno, very heavy team-based map. Although I feel like the playbook and also the strategy and downright teamwork will be better for HellRaisers, just because they've been together longer. Angel knows how to utilize his players very effectively. Still, Inferno has been out of the map pool. It's it's different territory coming back in there. Or obviously, it's been added in since the second week of Pro League, but there's still not been that long. Teams are being practiced on it once again, working their way back through, but it's just not had that much of a an impact as it did early days of Counter-Strike, because it's not been able to get back in there yet. It's not been in the map pool long enough for us to see it return to where it used to be. It always was that sort of final map that you'd see in every final, because Inferno was the best team map. If you had strategy and you played well as a team, you played Inferno purely because that was where you were playing to the best of your ability.
Yeah, and even moving on to the second map over on Overpass, that's also a coin flip, because you look at HellRaisers, better team on this map, at least in recent performances, but still not enough to kind of go, yeah, no, they're for sure going to win this map, because again, G2 are one of those teams that can surprise you. They can come out of nowhere. So going HellRaisers, easy win isn't a safe call. So I'm gonna at least go with a ballsy prediction despite G2 being at the bottom. I'm gonna say a 2-0, but I feel like there's such upset potential you can never really be confident.
It's true. You look at it sort of statistically and you work your way through with what we have in terms of benchmarks of HellRaisers playing previously. You've got to give them the favour in some of these matchups, especially just because as well how long they've been together now and things actually looking good in terms of their playbook. They obviously have the upper hand on maps like Inferno, but we haven't seen that much Inferno. So you never know. That's always the factor as well. The changes that have been made to it in terms of the CT playstyle as well will definitely affect things coming into it, and that is how G2 could potentially work their way back through.
Yeah. Are you calling the 2-0 though, or are you calling the 1-1? What are you feeling? Because you've already said G2 are going to pick up the first map, right? Or at least hopefully. You never know. Over on Overpass, HellRaisers being more kind of well endowed over on that map. Are you thinking that will be G2's?
I've got to give it to G2 again, purely just because I'm kind of hoping that we're going to see some of that Shox Kenny-esque combo starting to pop off, right? And that aggression there is definitely potential for them to really pick up some fantastic highlight kills. And going into that, why don't we check out some of the top 5 highlight kills from Katavies?
They would run into him, but it's not working out. Okay, FNX.
And the damage, and Lucas is able to pick it up before they can respond! Lucas gets the ball! One way to do it. Oh, that's why. That'll work. And the auto sniper at that wall. Kerrigan has mentioned that. What a shot, Alu.
Smoke will be deployed as well. That's going to be a thorn in their side. And another great shot from Alu. Hits the 4th as well. Looking for the ace. Alu!
Simple's here as well. Guardian rotating over to find one. But there goes Simple, and Guardian's got to come up huge here, and he's a man who can do it a second kill. Can he do more? Behind the flames at the moment. There's the peek, and he recovers. This is massive.
And Guardian finds one. He looks for Guardian.
Chuck it on the bomb for the post-plant situation. We'll see what he decides to do. What a shot that is.
That is so amazing, Dupree. He sells that he's gone to decon, goes back in. He's got 2, and he knows exactly where Nico is, and he nails it. He's also flashed off Eagle. Works, though. Limited vision, limited weapons, doesn't even matter. Dupree! Oh, the 4th as well. How sick is this round for him? And he's looking for the ace. The first ace from anyone on Astralis in this tournament, and now they're getting pumped.
Oh, absolutely dirty there from Dupree. Spectacular stuff, obviously. A great event. Looked amazing. Astralis, if we touch on that as well for a little bit, just so we've got some time before we get into this matchup here between G2 and HellRaisers. They have been on dominant form lately, finally got themselves in their stride. It's kind of like they've reached their maximum potential now. It's taken so long to get there, but this is the true Astralis on display. Yeah,
that's the thing about CSGO, right, which is what I love. Any team can kind of reach up top, and we previously looked at people like Nip, who were 87-0, we look at that, the crazy scoreline they had back at the beginning of Go, and now we look at them in the bottom of the Pro League standings, and Astralis is at the top. So much inconsistency and so much dominance in terms of the era of SK, the era of Fnatic, the era of Nip, and now the era of Astralis, and finally a Danish team kind of leading the charge, which is what is really great to see. I don't think we've really seen the same from the French scene in the sense that they've always been at the top. We've had that kind of envious style, at least back in Clutch and Poker in 2015. They did fairly well there, but I don't think we've ever seen a dominant performance from a French team over such a long-spanning time, at least in CSGO.
It's true. We kind of, towards the end of Counter-Strike Source as well, it was always very games. They were the #1 French team. In terms of teams, sort of, it was France and UK that were the best teams. Coming into CSGO, it was Sweden and France were always kind of up there fighting for the top spot, but there was never that reign. As you're saying now as well, they're starting to look like Denmark have actually taken that crown, and there's so many Danish teams that have actually reached that sort of top tier level now as well, which is awesome to see with everyone getting behind there. They've always had so much talent in that Danish scene, and it's been awesome to actually see it finally work its way through. Obviously, I've played with Danes for many years. I've always been a big fan of them, so it's awesome to see a couple of friends of mine work their way into that pro scene right now. Yeah,
definitely. Hopefully, we'll see it from G2 eventually to make it at the top, because I think there's definitely potential with such individual performance on some of these players. But either way, we're going to be jumping into the game now. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, here. G2 Esports versus HellRaisers is going to be map 1 on DE Inferno, and obviously these are 2 best of 1. Second map will be Overpass, and this is the first matchup of the night for the ESL Pro League Season 5.
Interesting to see how this one kicks off. Angel as well, the opener upon Shox towards that B-bomb site, and there's basically a welcome out there. Sony Body right now playing from coils, trying to ward them off. He can connect a couple of headshots, fires out the pot shots, but can't quite take anyone down just yet, forced to reposition. But luckily, his teammates are there to aid him as HellRaisers slip their way through and try and lock down this site.
Retake is going to be on. Kenny pushing in from the ruins. Nice quick shot onto Zero, but the bomb is going to be planted. That's already the advantage for HellRaisers, but we have the manpower on G2. No kit just yet, but they have a plethora of players about to move back into the site. Kenny is going to be spotting. The body will open things up. Trey comes in onto Apex, but Kenny, he's going to be out in the open. Pincer by so many players. Stiko not able to connect, and finally Bondik, he's going to take back that man advantage. There's 2 players remaining, but it's going to be running out of time and ammo as well. As you can see, MBK having to get that reload back in towards the ruins. He is alone. He's got 20 HP, and it seems that HellRaisers, they found themselves the first pistol round.
Kicking this one off with a bang. Stiko will take down MBK towards the end of that there as well. Good way to start off Inferno, obviously, as well, getting that opening round win on the T side. The buys will come through. Let's see what they're actually going to work their way with. The UMPs, obviously, standard choice. Fantastic bit of armor penetration. Good weapon in terms of your cash as well. Bondik seems like going to be the only one to go for the rifle. Dead Fox go for the low buy as well, so we can get the AWP out as he works his way through. G2 with the 2 buys on the scouts as well. Kenny S and Body. Obviously, you just want to try and get yourself a couple of tags out around the map. Roam a little bit. You can be a bit more flamboyant into these rounds. Try and distribute the damage, but Body and Kenny S actually connect together to take down Angel to kick that one off. That's one better than what they expected.
Great opener as well. Man advantage, but obviously still HellRaisers do have the advantage considering their weaponry is far better into this round. We don't have to see G2 get too aggressive here. They've got that early pick. They can just play passive, wait for HellRaisers to feed one into themselves as well. We will see Apex playing a very aggressive banana stance with no teammate here to trade. It's very dangerous, but gets flashed in. However, Stiko, he's going to open things up. Finally refrags. It's back into a 4-on-4, but the scout on the CT side, it's repositioned. Attack will come through. It's not going to be the kill, and HellRaisers starting to assert a bit of dominance back up towards this B site, as they did in the pistol round. The smoke goes in towards CT spawn, but look at the positioning of G2 right now. They've got 3 players over towards that site. They're going to be ready for this one. But the question is, can they hit those crucial shots?
That's going to be the question on everyone's mind, but the nades will be rolling in. They're blowing Kenny S out the server like a little mortar strike popping off around him. Shox trying to play from second oranges right now as he holds the angle, waiting for the push to come through. They will overwhelm him. Deagle reigns supreme, though, with a 2K as he takes down Dead Fox and Zero. Styko with a response. There's NBK, though, to connect the headshot. Lobotomizes Styko, leaving just Bondik trapped in a 1 versus 2. Both of these scouts still in play. NBK scavenged the other one from his fallen teammate as they go for the push round, but Bondik connecting the headshot, dispatching him, hungry for more as the tag comes through. Blissfully unaware of his position until he finally works out where Body is. Forced to retreat now as he sprints his way around, trying to get towards the A-bomb site.
And this is all mind games now from Bondik. He's very, very low, but he should be able to get a free bomb plant as Body's going to be committing to the B site, the safer option here. He can be left in on the rotate, but it's only going to take 1 scout shot just to completely remove Bondik from this round. But a bomb plant will come in, so even in the case that HellRaisers do lose this one, he is going to have that extra money bonus coming into the next round. But the bomb will eventually be planted with just a few seconds spare. Body, he's going to be rotating in, comes in through the CT spawn, making his way through the arch, and Bondik just sitting close on the site. This is going to be good, at least not playing the range game up against a scout that could easily pick him. He's going to force Body to probably use his pistol in this kind of engagement, runs around the corner and footsteps will be made. That'll be easy for Bondik. But HellRaisers, they lose a lot of players and a lot of potential money.
Yeah, coming down to just 1 player left there. That's 4 casualties on the side. Not great. A nicely done eco, though, on the flip side of things when you look at G2 into that round. So a lot of money will be reinvested into this following round. You see Dead Fox as well, still just trying to skimp through. Wants to have an Ush potentially get that AWP out. The AK will be dropped over to him as we see a UMP buy come out as well. So fairly effective. This should just basically be a given. Work your way through this round very quickly. Try not to have any more casualties. Smack down G2. If you can get a bomb plant, that'd be fabulous. But other than that, just get through this one quickly, and then the real game will begin.
Yep, only a Deagle and a P250 for G2. So not really expecting anything, but HellRaisers not putting too much aggression over towards B, and that's unfortunate because G2 only have Shox here, but we know what he's like with a Deagle. However, this time not going to be correct as Angel opens him up. B site's going to be given away now to the side of HellRaisers, and G2 not even stacking with a rotation. They're just sticking all players on the A site just in case, because at this point, with really no investment left on their side, it's too risky to try and get caught out rotating if these Ts are already wrapped. You can see the control from G2 is completely relinquishing everything over towards Arch. So at this point, HellRaisers could have already pushed up aggressively through middle and taken that Arch control and even wrapped into B, but they're going to have a free site. The bomb will eventually be joining them. And HellRaisers now know that the whole of G2 is stacked over towards the A side, so they can just hold off into middle, see if these players aggressively rotate down banana, something like that, and catch themselves in free kills. Of course, they still do have triple UMP in play, so if they're not going to bring that into the next round, this is when they should start to hunt. It's worth the risk. Get that $600 kill reward.
That's the thing. You want to try and be a little bit more aggressive here. That John Rambo style. Work your way through. Rack up them UMP kills if possible. And the CT is just going to try and hold their crossfires. Overwhelm anyone. So if Angel does push in here, could be caught off guard as they are very close together playing from this site, ready for the push to come through. We'll spawn him out a little bit here. Here in the audio cues, some pitter-patter of information as he makes his approach towards A. Just on the hunt right now. Hopefully he can get a little bit of extra cash to play with for the side of HellRaisers. But time's starting to tick away. Might be unlikely at this point.
And yeah, for those wondering as well why G2 are holding on to these guns here, there's no point obviously going for any kind of exit kills with just USPs and giving HellRaisers the money from these $600 kill rewards. That's a lot of cash if all 4 of them go down to a UMP. So it's safer just, you know, getting that loss bonus and holding on to whatever you have to take it into the next round. And now we go into the buy. This is where the real stuff happens. Deadfox still going to be sticking with that AK. Obviously, they lost no one in the previous round, so there's no real reason for him to reinvest and drop over that gun. So he's actually just going to hold on to it for the time being. And G2 themselves, not even enough for an AWP over on Kenny S. They're going to have a triple FAMAS in play. I'm interested by this because Inferno's a map that famously, I can't even speak today. You typically see the Mag 7s in play. You see a lot of UMPs as well on the CT side in the current meta. So going for a lot of FAMASes that will impact their investments into utility is going to be very, very interesting to see.
It's true. Obviously, those FAMASes as well. Nonsense attention to the UMB part is coming out, but Kenny S going to be making work with that M4. Doesn't need an AWP as he gets the opening frag upon Angel, but the trade does come back through as they start to overwhelm the A bomb site. Deadfox and Bondic as well kick things off spectacularly as they land these shots, leaving just Bondic, body and shots left to try and retake this. Shox will connect the opening headshot though, trades it back a little bit, trying to claw his way back into the round, but the manpower is very strong for HellRaisers at this point. They're in some great positions as well. As that bomb will be delayed for the time being. Molotov going through, trying to link up with his teammate as well here. They do have utility to play with to try and make their push back onto the site, but the angles in play by HellRaisers complementing each other's will be very awkward for these CTs to brush in undetected. Body trying to get up close and personal now. Should be spotted out by Zero as he plays from pit, just looking his way through, trying to get the opening frag upon Deadfox. But there you have it, Stanko and Zero with the instant trades back into it. They keep it going, opening up that first round as well, resetting G2. 4 rounds on the board now.
Really weird that round. Apex didn't invest in any armor. Not any. Not even Kevlar there. I'm not too sure what that was, whether he was dropping over a gun or if he forgot to buy it, but he still has the same amount of cash into this round, which really confuses me. He's going to go for a bit of investment. Body as well, and even MBK, yeah, they're all going to, you know, slightly invest into this round other than Kenny S, just saving for that AWP in the next buy. Loss bonus is going to be at a max now, so they will be getting 3,400, so they can invest a little bit and put themselves to about 2k or lower. The issue is, obviously, HellRaisers still looking very dominant so far, and this is what we talked about. We said there was such great upset potential coming into this matchup because of both these teams being not only so inconsistent, but also not having played Inferno enough for us to really judge how good they are. Body is going to be full frontal with a bunch of players, and there's one quick kill with the Mag 7, jumping and re-peeking. There's 2. That's good to at least open things up, but he will have to fall back now as he gets tagged down a little, and there's no need to overextend when you got a 5-on-3. It's still in contention. HellRaisers can take this round, but G2 are definitely sitting in the driving seat.
Yeah, looking good so far as they get those very strong openers. Smart play from HellRaisers though, throwing those weapons out the map, just going to be saving the AK, so there can be no potential scavenging going on, no shenanigans with the CTs pushing through and carrying those weapons from Banana. Still waiting as well as they just hold their ground, hoping there will be a mistake come through from G2 before they make their initial push. It seems like they still want to take that fight towards Banana early on.
Going to be retrieving the bomb back towards the bottom and middle. Meanwhile, Zero, he's not pushed up at all over in apartments. He's just holding on to that one. It will be a bit of a fake from Deadfox. Sold very well as G2. Look at the rotations. 3 players over towards his B site. Maybe going for a bit of a gamble stack, but it's not going the right way as a bomb. It's found its way up middle with 30 seconds left. It's looking like they can commit. You can obviously rotate with plenty, you know, very, very faster on the T side to go back towards that B site, but it seems like they are definitely going to be going for A now with 3 players in position. Bondic going to be running on through. It's MBK towards the back of pit as well with the support from the site as well, but MBK connecting the first couple of shots. Tags Deadfox, not enough though. Apex needs to hit something massive now, but he's just getting cornered. At least the time's being wasted. HellRaisers haven't got the bomb down. Eventually the opening frags will come through and the bomb, it's going to be planted towards the back of the site, but there's still only 1 player remaining and Body coming in from a bit of an off angle. They may not expect this one, but Mag 7 not going to be great for range. He has to pull out the USP, looking for this kill towards the back of the site, but Bondic, 4 HP, he lives, and he kicks through that round for HellRaisers to get a 5-0.
Absolutely dominant stuff so far, but here the cash will be distributed now upon the side of G2. The buy's coming through. The AWP finally on Kenny S as well. This is going to be the difference maker, possibly a little bit more aggression coming out into the early round. Try and take that mid control. Let's see how Harry is actually going to play this one. Potentially going to go for that aggressive play straight through apps. That could be very effective if he pulls it off.
Yeah, we love watching Kenny S, at least with the AWP. His dominant era is still well and truly on as he pushes up. There will be a bit of spam just to stop him from pushing, but he just makes it past, and there's just going to be Zero on the other side, holding on just in case we see some aggression. And Kenny, I think he's going to feed into it, walking down now. Stiko does open things up on the other side of the map, but still, Kenny's in position. And Zero, he has no idea. Kenny's not made a footstep. It's just going to be all down to timing and whether he checks the angle. It seems like he's going to be peeking out the wrong way, and there we go. Zero peeks perfectly, takes the headshot, removes Kenny S from the server, and HellRaisers a double man advantage once again.
Spectacular opening as he gets that opening kill there, working his way into this round. As you can see, HellRaisers as well, still holding their ground. Just going to be waiting if any more pushes will come through for G2. A minute left to clock to play with, so there's no reason to actually burst their way through. Use that utility, take things slow, and make your approach into the late round. As it seems like it will be that play towards the A-bomb site. The smoke wall has gone down. Apex and MBK still trying to ward them off. Shock's rotating in as well to try and help them. Styko, if he goes for this push towards the B-bomb site and gets the information that the welcome mat is there, they could potentially find that free site.
That's the thing, it's a real risk play rotating everyone back, but Shox, he's still not going to be committed, just wandering around the CT spawn, and look at that aggressive peek, perfect. Apex is going to take one, DevFox trades, but MBK is right back on the trigger to put into a 2v3, and that's better for G2. But look at this push, oh, Bundik just through the smoke, catches Shox down to 20, and he's still going to be alive though, takes down another, drops a bomb on Styko, and now he's going to have to reposition, but too many footsteps are going to know exactly where he's coming from, and Zero, he's going to take the final kill of the round. HellRaisers, they are not letting up here, Jackie. 6-0, they are so dominant right now, and G2, their money is just on the edge.
Looking absolutely crisp right now. And this is the thing as well that's quite scary, as we said in the pre-game, that playbook of Angel is so vast. That T-side, they're looking absolutely spectacular. Every one of these rounds have been very, very beautiful to watch. And G2 now as well, I imagine going to be coming in with the pause here, trying to work out what exactly is going on. As 6 rounds already being claimed by HellRaisers is not great to try and kick off this map when you're on that CT side.
Not at all, and the money being such an awkward spot as well, you have about 4k. Typically for a CT to commit to a buy, you need about 4,400, right? Because you can get that body armor, M4, and their smoke alongside that, or a kit, depending on what you really want to invest in. But having about 3.7 to 4.0, it's a bit, it's a bit off. You can't really commit to a buy, but it's also you sitting there going, well, Quasi's not really going to get us anywhere when we're 6-0 down, so they've got to make that decision. It's likely just going to be a light investment. We saw a couple of rounds ago as well with body with a mag 7, probably maybe a couple of CZs and armors, but nothing too much.
That's the thing, you can't really expect them to invest that heavily into the rounds. The cash just won't allow them to get into a good situation. In terms of that as well, utility management, we need to see a little bit more coming out from them. It just seems a bit, there was too many faces that we've seen. That sure, we got the opener towards Banana into that early round, but that's kind of the only one that's really paid off. The aggression they've been taking aren't fights that haven't been working out for them, especially Kenny with the AWP play. Smart play to work out, but just went overly aggressive and got punished because of that, especially when they already had a one-man deficit into that round. Yeah,
too hungry, but here's what we talked about, a light investment from G2. They've got a bit of money into this round, but they'll still be able to fully buy as the loss bonus is maxed out. But HellRaisers, they're still not picking up that AWP, and I don't really blame them, to be honest. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. The rifle's doing all the jobs right now, as we can see. Full AKs, apart from one M4 over on Zero, picked up from the previous one. We're going to be seeing a bit of aggression up towards B early on. Styko just probing, using the utility, trying to force out anything from G2 if they do have it. But obviously, HellRaisers is going to be on top of the money right now. They should expect what G2 are already putting into this round, some kind of light investments. And right now, just pushed all the way up in towards apartments and Banana for the time being.
Trying to once again take that mid control. Just with the lurk as well, holding towards Banana in case there is a rotate come through as they make their approach. The deagle shot comes out though from Kenny S. The connection spectacular as he rips the head clean off DevFox. That is absolutely dominant.
Great stuff. Can they convert it? We've seen previous rounds like this, and look at that Angel just going to peek round towards Long. Does take down Apex. Kenny's still in position though, and he's still dangerous with that Deagle. Needs to peek out now, get that kill before Angel backs off, and he does a bit of damage, but it's not going to be enough as he has to back off. No armor to support it. A reactive placement MBK as he pushes up in towards the apartment hall, and then him going down, and Kenny S repositions back towards the library area, but Angel just going to be too fast for that one. Takes him down as well. It's HellRaisers extending their man advantage despite losing the first player. And Body and Shox left on the rotation to probably just catch exits at this point. They shouldn't be going for this round. That UMP can obviously lend you quite a bit more money into the next one, combined with a loss bonus. Body may even be able to get secondary AWP in play. We've been seeing that every now and then, at least on Shox with G2. So potentially, if Body just holds on towards middle and these players exit in towards his crosshairs, if he gets a kill or two, bit more money in the bank, bit more to work with here for the CT side.
And they need that. They need a bit of an extra lifeline working their way through, as right now they just haven't had any answers. A lot of these rounds as well haven't been the true story, as obviously the first 3, the economy was bad off the back of the pistol round win for HellRaisers, but they just keep getting reset. Every time they do have cash, though, it seems like it's silly mistakes and plays that come out from there a little bit overly aggressive that really shut them down, and we need to see that sorted out soon. As HellRaisers, essentially almost winning the half already at this point. 7 rounds in the backpack, showing no signs of slowing down either.
Not at all. will just be HellRaisers holding onto those guns towards the back of pit. So G2 not even going to be able to get the exits on that UMP. And now does Body commit with it? He has enough to buy a rifle alongside it, so no real need to. But that being said, that gun's still usable here on the CT side. And we're going to be seeing a pause called out. I'm not sure if that's, again, another tactical for G2, because that's already their 2.5 used very early on. But it may well be, and I don't really blame them if it is, because they need to work out what they want to do on this buy, what they're going to have up their sleeves, whether they're going to bring up one AWP, point up two. You know, you never really know with G2. That's the thing. They have that ability to throw the AWP over to multiple players. So it's a really hard one, considering HellRaisers are very, very dominant on a map that's supposed to be inherently CT-sided.
It's true, and that's quite scary as well, them being able to get that early round lead. Coming into it as well, if this is their second tactical pause being used, it makes sense because they want to work their way through that. They obviously now have a good amount of economy to play with, so they can actually get those buys out, but this will be a technical pause into this one, so obviously a little bit different, not going to be coming into the strategy, but still, it does slow down the pace of HellRaisers a little bit in the term of things. HellRaisers starting to get themselves into a bit of a roll as well. They found their stride, so this will slow them down and could give them a little bit of an edge, because right now, we're seeing moments of individual greatness coming out, like from Kenny S, we've seen a couple of great frags, we saw Shocks do a little bit of damage, but we just need to see everyone start to fire off. It looks very complacent right now on the side of G2. No one really bringing their A game.
And this is what we talked about, double AWP in play. Finally, we see it for the G2 side, both Shocks and Kenny. This is the lifeline they need. They need to be able to switch things up and not have to constantly rotate that AWP back between sites. Shocks going to be posted up towards B. He shot. Oh my god, Shocks. He catches the jumping angel over the top of that corner and opens things up. That's exactly what G2 needed into this buy round.
Yep. Great way to kick things off as you execute one of the players over on the side of HellRaisers. They are going to try and respond though. Dead Fox also has the AWP in his back pocket, and he's trying to prove just how effective he is with the weapon. A prolific fragger on the side of HellRaisers. And one man open up, you throw him towards the site and he will cause an absolute scene. Meanwhile, over at the barn as well, we can see the aggression taken towards apartments. They've got a bit of map control here, planting the seed of doubt in the mind of G2 as they just fire a couple of pop shots. Start to reposition now as well to once again take that mid control. See if they can bring that fight up towards the A bomb site. But Kenny S playing from quad, in position, primed and ready, waiting to try and execute. Unfortunately, he'll be beaten down by Styko. Great opening frag. Apex forced to reposition as well as the Molotov setting his position ablaze as they make their push upon the A bomb site. NBK playing from pit, doing a good job so far of warding them off, buying his teammates a little bit more time to try and rotate over, as they now are aware it is going to be a commit towards the B-bomb site. NBK doubles it up as well, taking down Styko. There's the peek from Apex. Connection off on Dead Fox, just leaving Zero trapped on his lonesome. Forced to reposition now as well. 25 seconds left on the clock. Basically just has to try and get out of there.
Yeah, this is done and dusted. If you can get anything more, why not? Obviously, he will hunt for Apex again. HellRaisers have so much cash, there's no real issue with him hunting down for frags in that kind of position. Take some money off the CT side, force them to maybe have some UMPs in play instead of rifles. And another pause called out. I'm not sure. I'm assuming this is just going to be another technical pause, something maybe still going wrong here, because I don't see a tactical being called out, unless HellRaisers are trying to get in the heads of G2, for example, because they've got these pauses. Why not use them, right? You know, maybe stop the momentum before G2 come back into the game, but expecting a technical pause.
Yeah, you would imagine so. Obviously, this one will actually be a tactical pause, I assume, for the side of HellRaisers. As you said, it makes very much sense because they come back in there, they get their first round on the board. You want to try and not only slow down the momentum, but also goes, right, this is what they've done to this round. If they're going to try and play the same style, we'll counter it. And as well, that's where Angel can excel very well. He's one of these in-game leaders that, utilizing his teammates, is very good at bending but not breaking. He's quite dynamic in terms of sort of, you know, how much depth he has in his strat books. They won't be shut down very easily. Obviously, that T side as well. It's been essentially just a slow default towards top mid with a late round execute. It's not been anything too crazy. So interesting to see how they will actually switch things up. The cash will not allow that AWP to come out though for Dead Fox. Onyx actually had enough to drop, I think. But obviously, they have decided to possibly go for a little bit more of an aggressive play into this one. Potentially a faster pace. Whilst Kenny S also does the same thing, but misses with the open up. Tries to go back for more Hugo as he holds the angle, but nothing will go his way.
No, but at least some information grabbed. He knows that pushing a few players towards the top of second mid already, so maybe going for something like round A, but as you said, the default just being held for the time being for HellRaisers. Stiko being that man over towards the B site to bring in some Havoc and Shocks. Well, Havoc will be going his way this time as he takes down Stiko early on. Man advantage once again going to go the way of G2 thanks to Shoxy over on that B site, and they are going to be looking for retribution over towards A. The rest of the comrades go as we can see Kenny's posted up once again. Here we go. Another AWP play might come into account for the CT side, but he's going to have to be forced back by the Molotov as it lands right on his position. Support from Apex as Kenny is forced away. Counter molly as well, just to delay HellRaisers a little bit more, but they're going to run right through it. Very ballsy play there. Dead Fox is going to get burnt though as Kenny takes him down. He goes in for the repeat as well as Angel just on the other side, but he still hits a shot. Great stuff from Kenny, and 2 players remaining for HellRaisers. Time is ticking away.
So awkward into this round. He actually will get executed towards the end there, trying to reposition to get out of the line of sight, and Bondic takes him down. Apex, luckily, is able to tiptoe his way into pit to back up with his teammate MBK. Obviously, MBK very low at this point. They do have that HE to play with on Zero as well. 2 Molotovs, a lot of utility as well as the smoke starts to come through. And look at the position here by Zero. Unfortunately, Will falls. He made his way over. Great mechanics on display as they slowly make their approach up towards the A bomb site. Right now, they're just facing 1 by 1. If Zero gets taken down, surely this leaves Bondic in such an awkward situation, but Zero kicks it off fantastically, landing the shot upon MBK. Apex with a fire back. Is he aware of the position of Bondic, though? Of course he is, but cannot pick up the frag. Body is in the rear, wants to try and go large in charges. That bomb will get planted, slowly waiting for his teammate to approach, as they can now try and retake it together. Shox, he's been on point with the AWP so far, but can he find another frag upon Bondic? Pete goes through, nearly connecting the shot as he brushes his way off site. The reface, though. Shox had the angle covered. An easy one. Pulls the trigger. Takes him down. G2, they get another round on the board.
And that's so important as well, right? Because if HellRaisers actually picked that up off the back of the pause, not only would they already gotten ahead to G2, but they also would have reset them economically. G2 probably wouldn't have even been able to invest into the next round because HellRaisers would have forced them back down to $1,400 on the loss bonus. So we see now a lot of cash here on the CT side. Still the T's with a nice amount of bank are only losing 2 rounds here in a row. So they're going to be able to reinvest for 2 more rounds at least. And G2 at least having something to fall back on now if they do carry on and lose this one. We will see a triple UMP play from HellRaisers, which is very ballsy considering they do have the money to go for those AKs and AWPs, but maybe trying to do something fast, maybe trying to upset G2, and it seems like that's going to be the case. Up towards B they go. There's going to be 2 players on the other side here. Nice flashbang usage so far as Shox is forced back, but Body, look at the aggression. 3 from him. It will be the trade coming in from Stiko, but so far G2, they're leading this round. However, maybe not for long as Stiko, he's domed the AWP and holding towards a CT spawn.
Trying to wall them off. The smoke will go through. Aware of Apex position, but look what's going on. The flank coming through. Kenny S is there, but beaten down as he backslaps him, removing him from the round. Molotov goes in as well, has to switch out, grabs the UMP, trying to take the close quarters fight towards MBK. M4 will reign supreme, though. Upgrades to the AWP as well as he picks up that kill. And another round. G2 looking like they've finally got themselves back into their home territory.
Really weird from HellRaisers. I understand what they were trying to do, but Body was just on the other side, and he didn't even get flashed at all. They were playing an anti-flash on the side of G2, so he was in the perfect position to just shut down everyone on the T side. So great job from him, great read from G2 as well. And HellRaisers still not on this AWP. I think they may have money for it as well. I'm really surprised by this decision, considering they based their play so much around DevFox. But look at G2. Apex is going to feed himself down mid with the support from Kenny S as well. They won't commit to it though. Body, he's even going to be on this MP9, maybe expecting a little less money on the side of HellRaisers as he tries to farm some cash, but Shox jumps on his head, opens things up here with the M4, and HellRaisers already losing out on a man once again.
The best way to kick these rounds off, they need to try and change these openers. Psycho will get the response frag though as he eliminates Body, not this time. Body, he's been able to get some great defense frags towards Banana in the prior rounds, but it isn't going to be going his way. You can see that map control as well has been taken towards Banana. They've pushed their way up, but they haven't committed just yet, and there is only MBK trapped towards the A site. Zero, if he tries to go for a bit of an information play here, could really help them out, but the double face.
This is so risky. If Stiko gets his first shot, it could all fall apart, but no, Kenny S, look at the AWP, he gets it. DevFox trades, but there's going to be more running in. DevFox, how is he allowed to do that? 2 kills from him, he needs a 3rd. He needs to take down the last player on the site, and he will check it. Apex towards the back, no, turns away, and Apex gets 2. Great defense. And now Zero, last man standing, has to rotate back on in. He has a position to push in towards the archway there, but MBK is just going to safely rotate to join his teammate over on the back of the B site. And Zero, if he can get in position and grab himself a quick one-on-one duel before the rotation comes in, that could be great. But the time is ticking away. MBK's found himself over in ruins, and there's going to be a 2-man play over towards this B site. There's surely no way Zero can do this.
The people come through though, as he tries to take the fight. Aware of their positions, MBK will be spotted out, but unfortunately, MBK will be the one to put him into an early grave. Finds the frag, and they're still rolling out 4 rounds on the trot. Cash over on the side of HellRaisers is beginning to dwindle as well. Obviously, they have that lose bonus coming through. They will get the buyout, but this will burn a lot of their economy. The utility isn't going to be too bad. Well, a couple of players I've had to skimp fairly heavily. Not a lot of smokes left to play over in this, but nevertheless, it has been more of a slow start. We haven't really seen much of an execute come out.
No, that is true. They have been playing a lot of defaults here. The only really rounds that they won early on were just G2 kind of overextending and getting picked a lot of the time. And now that G2 has started to find their confidence and actually open things up like there with Body, it's turning into their rounds a lot of the time. HellRaisers on a 4 losing streak now. They need to get back into this before they're forced to eco, because this is their last buy coming in. Even with a bomb plant, it's going to be very, very difficult to fully invest. But that will just allow them to buy up. And Apex is going to be spotted towards short. Backs off, MBK supports, and Kenny, yes, a bit of a whiff there towards long as he tries to take another kill, but does back off towards the archway, leaving just Stico. A leg shot comes in, pistol in play, and Kenny is going to close it out. It's 5 rounds in for G2. Now the eco from HellRaisers, no bomb plant, probably not a lot of money to buy up, and you can see just on the edge of things once again.
Investing into those Tech 9s as well, potentially just an aggressive round coming out. Might as well just throw something a little bit shock and awe into the mix, go for a flash in the plan. It's the best case scenarios. You really cannot play out these rifle rounds that they've been playing their defaults. They won't be able to get the potential picks. They don't have the range utility to find those opening frags. The aggression coming through from Kenny S, though, once again as well. Last time he couldn't find the frags. Can he do it this time? It's going to be the same old story. Went for the peek through, but just couldn't connect the shot. Kenny S not having the greatest day just yet.
No, not at all. And MBK, he's just going to relinquish a bit of control towards apartments as he backs off safely, because look at this position from G2. They've actually pushed body all the way down Banana. That's allowed for an extra rotation from Shox as he moves back in towards Arch, and now G2 want to play passive because they know this A play is coming in, and they know that they're going to be pushing towards him. Kenny S takes the first and the second. Pistol going to be out. He spams away and connects a third. All back in play. Why not? But Zero's going to trade, and that will just be G2 completely wiping the floor with HellRaisers. Once again, what is happening to the T side here? They had a great start, a 7-0 run, and now it's just fallen apart.
Yeah, everything was going their way, and a lot of it just comes down to G2 switching up their playstyle now. They're not going for those over-aggressive faces, and HellRaisers just can't find those opening frags. It was working so well for them, but since the Tades have turned, G2 have actually started playing a lot slower CS, waiting for the perfect peak to come through. When they do take those fights, they're actually hitting their shots now. And I mean, that's just the ultimate difference maker. Once again, though, the aggression towards that B-bomb site, they've tried this in the past, and Shox has still been able to find these frags every time. He comes in with a massive opener and doesn't allow HellRaisers to get a single thing on the board. Unfortunately, Kenny S has been struggling into this matchup, and Zero punishes, gets that opening kill as he lands the headshot, trades it back into a 4 versus 4 now, and this is going to favor the Ts. They can still back off, grab that bomb, and try and take their assault somewhere else. Body will try and take the push, though, finds his way down Banana, eliminating Dead Fox with an absolutely glorious opening headshot now. Once again, retakes the lead until Angel takes a bit of the pie of his own, eliminates Body, backs off, only 3 HP left. It doesn't matter too much, though, as long as he stays alive.
Yeah, I think Shox has read this already. He knows the rotation is coming through. He would have heard the footsteps and moving back in deep towards Banana, as we can see. Apex is going to be prepared for this one with MBK set up as well. They're going to have perfect trade potential, but Bondic opens things up. They line up for Apex, though. 2 for him, and Zero, last man alive. He's going to push himself quick out of the apartments. He needs to take this one-on-one before the 2 players reunite and have that ability to trade, and now they've done so. He's given up himself a free pick, and the bomb dropped in towards middle. He has to retrieve that, but utility's still in his favor. Smoke goes down. He has a couple of flashbangs to work with, but if he's going to throw down that smoke, he needs to work with it sooner rather than later. Pushes himself back towards short. Shox holding the angle, and he's going to check it, but no, the orb's too quick. And Jackie, I think we need to put Shox on that main orb right now, because he is just destroying.
Yeah, towards that B-bomb site, they have had no openers at all. Every time, the sickest pixel angles have been taken by Shox. He's been able to land the shots. Kenny has had a few fantastic frags of his own, but just not into the opening round. He's been going for those early round kills, trying to eliminate some of the sustain of HellRaisers, but he hasn't been able to do anything. A lot of his frags are just relying to the late round on the backline, and I don't know why he just doesn't slow down his playstyle. He keeps trying to use that aggression, but it's not working. Shox is going to take over the driving seat instead. Foot on the pedal as he works his way around. Kenny S now stationed towards Banana. Will find 1 frag, though. Hungry for more as well. Still peeking deep, but Shox will connect one onto Dead Fox. Bondic also hitting the deck. It's just 2 men left standing at this point. The all-out aggression from every angle has been hit upon HellRaisers, and they had no idea how to deal with it.
And that's a switch up, right? Because HellRaisers' first 7 rounds where they were leading without losing one, they were holding defaults, and G2 weren't really getting too aggressive. They just got picked. HellRaisers were just playing it perfectly, at least with the trade frags. And now G2 is starting to bring the fight over to the side of the Ts. It's getting far more dominant in the other way. So we're seeing 7 rounds now in a row for each team, and G2 trying to make it 8, and looking very likely so as well. Shox, he's posted towards middle, misses the shot, but he has the support of a teammate, and Apex being there to trade, going to get the kill onto Stico. Zero will drop another, but it's still going to be just him against 3 more. He's found himself a couple of openers, so a bit done so far, but economical damage is not important. It's last round of the half. He needs to make this one work. Smoke goes out. Full set of utilities to play with here, and he will be able to grab the bomb, but got to watch his back here. But there we go. Body going to come in from the rotation. He takes the kill. G2 take 8 rounds, and we're just going for a short break before the second half continues.
What a fantastic scoreline so far. A very great match, obviously. 7-8 is going to be the score. It was looking close. HellRaisers started off dominantly, but all of a sudden G2 switching up their playstyle. HellRaisers just had no answer for it, and they're also going to go through to get 8 rounds on the trot.
Yeah, really weird. Not a single economical reset, which is not something very common. We typically see games go back and forth, especially with the UMPs and the force bias being so OP right now with the pistols, for example. But no, 7 rounds in a row, 8 rounds in a row. That's all you need, apparently, for this matchup. And it's gone very, very well, obviously, in the side of G2. It was looking like they were going to completely fall apart during the beginning of the game, but took a quick tactical break and it came out, perfectly for them. They brought it all the way back. So going into the second half, very, very important that we see them pick up the pistol round, obviously. Again, this is a CT-sided map inherently, so it's going to be very important that we see now G2 over on that T side take the pistol to give themselves that 3-round lead.
Yeah, you need a bit of a buffer, and that's the best way to try and kick things off. Come in there hard and fast, get that opening pistol round, get a little bit of invigoration behind your players as well. Really reset yourselves going into it, and they need that. I mean, obviously as well for G2, we saw Shock stepping up massively towards Banana. That was the real difference maker. As soon as we saw that secondary AWP setup come out, he was able to just backslap anyone that came towards Banana, warded them off, and really slowed them down. They got that early Banana control for the majority of the rounds, and their slow default was working. As soon as there was that change coming into effect, HellRaisers no idea, and then they took up the tempo even further in that final round as well, really catch them off guard with just peeking from all angles at the same time. HellRaisers just had no idea to deal with it. Yeah,
really weird with Kenny as well. He missed a lot of very crucial shots, a lot of early picks, but despite us picking up on that quite a lot, he's actually doing fairly well in the scoreboard. He's somewhere 3rd place, not doing too badly at all, at least individually, because we saw a couple of styling rounds, at least from him, with a couple of 3Ks, so he's actually doing fine, but at least in terms of his ability of getting those opening picks on that CT side, very, very off. But hopefully that will change as we move on to the T side. Very unlikely we're going to see a double AWP play moving on to this half, so hopefully he'll be able to at least open things up here on the T side.
It'll be interesting to see what he can actually do. Obviously, open on that T side, usually very hard. You don't see it as commonly as you do. A lot easier to go for that double AWP setup, and even just on an AWP on its own on the CT half. Nice setup being used so far from G2, which will be a burst towards mid. They've got that control set up Apex with the smoke and flash as well, so the smoke will go through, flash bang over, take that control towards quad. Let's see if they can actually find the frags, though, as they brush their way around. Bouncing in towards the bomb site, bounding as they try and take these fights, but the crossfires are too strong right now. HellRaisers, all the frags going their way. Dead Fox with 2 of his own. There's the 3rd from Dead Fox as he just kicks off everyone. Bondic will connect one on towards Shocks as well. And it was too strong. They just had the crossfires, nice positioning. Sure, you can slip your way onto the bomb site, but you just get pelted from all angles. They had no idea what they were walking into. Very heavy SMG buy coming out as well. This is what you want to see. There's UMPs in play. As long as they don't do anything too crazy, this will be another round easily picked up for HellRaisers. Obviously, you go for that UMP buy so you can still get nades out.
Yeah, very risky though, obviously, because G2, one of those teams, at least with the old roster, the old Evious roster, very, very confident with their force buys, with their pistols, their Tech 9 rushes, so this could be dangerous. And let's have a look as Zero, he sprays down the first, does connect the second as well with the support of Angel, and Pistol going to be pulled out as the bomb. It's dropped on the other side of the smoke, the side of the CTs. These players still going to flush and rush, but Zero gets another before eventually falling, and he's done enough damage to allow HellRaisers to be able to pick off these last 2. Nade does go in, no one's going to be connecting, but Kenny S with 1 HP there towards a corner on the sandbags. They should be able to clear him out. You can see Bondic not even going to check it. He's allowing them to pass. Kenny S with some amazing trigger discipline, but oh no, Kenny! Bondic's going to turn around after the first shot, and HellRaisers, well, this round's definitely done and dusted, but maybe Shocks can get a bomb plant.
Tiptoeing his way for apartments. Shocks his apartments as he slowly works his way down. Going to peek through boiler. Stacko is there, and of course will find the frag. Dispatches him. Upgrades to the Tech 9 as well, and they link that round together as they should. HellRaisers looking like they want to try and get all of these rounds, really try and get them cleanly. Obviously, no casualties coming through into that one. Sorry, apart from Zero obviously getting taken down. And then G2, they need to try and pull something out of the bag. HellRaisers, they will get away with it. You'd imagine going to be getting that 10th round on the board into this one. And it just depends if they can actually step things up. They need that firepower, that ferocity that we saw into their late half on their CT side. If they can bring that to the table on T, start to go for those confidence picks, that's where we're going to see them return to form.
Yeah, this round's basically just a throwaway. We don't expect anything here from the French side, and this is just going to be a money-maker round with HellRaisers having so much effective play with these UMPs. And look at the aggression early on as well. Angel pushed all the way down towards Banana. He's playing anti-flash. He's got the support towards the top. Risky, yes, but still, we'll be able to grant him some money if G2 do decide to barrage out onto this B site. And the fact they've still got such a mid-stack, they're all outside of this Banana position, waiting for the smoke to fade. Looks like they may very well push in towards his close-range B site, but Angel, first quick kill. There's $600 in the bank, and he's going to looking for a bit more. There's a second. Apex gets dropped, and this is just perfect from Angel. He's just picking up so many anti-eco frags. looking for more. There's a third. Shox is going to be going to be the last person over on the A site, and Deadfox can clear him up too. HellRaisers, great round. Don't lose a player as well, and they can even bring some of these UMPs into the buy if they want to.
Yep, as the buys start to come out. They can try and hold on to him if they want to. Obviously, there's a bit of a scouting round. You would imagine that Bondic will be the one 100% going for the upgraders. Right now, he just has that MP7 in his back pocket. Seemed like he might actually stick with it, though. So it's going to be a full scout round. Obviously, try and work their way through. If they can pick this up, it would be crazy for what it would do to their economy. But should be unlikely. G2 with the AKs back in their hands. Utility as well. Only one HE in play, but they do have 5 smokes across the board. That will be useful when they go for their late round executes. Right now, they're just playing that default, hoping the push comes through early from HellRaisers. They do try and take a bit of banana control. There hasn't been any contact just yet.
That's the thing about these rounds, right? If you go for the bonus round and you lose it, it doesn't matter because you can fully invest into the next round. You'll have so much cash from not only the loss bonus, but also the cash you've saved from the first 3. So this is actually a viable strategy. We've been seeing it very, very commonly, and the reset potential is good if you do lose it. So let's have a look and see if they can actually pick it up. It could be a bit of an upset here as we see the AKs Storm adding towards middle. We've got Angel playing a close position with Bondic, just playing the bait towards the long area, but he's going to be extended too far with the MP7. Angel, though, able to pick up the pieces, takes himself 2. Body trades, and we're back into a 3-on-3 as G2 they are going to start to wrap back around towards the A site.
Styko playing from pit though, waiting for the peek to come towards him. Flashbang will go over, peek through. No one has been seen just yet. Finally spots out the players, and from the bomb site, Deadfox starts to eliminate everyone that comes his way, throwing out punts left and right as he blow for blow takes them down. Final kill upon Shox, upgrades to the AK as well. Deadfox single-handedly defends the bomb site there. 3K to his name. Amazing way to pick up the round. And not only that, that's so much cash going into their back pockets now as well. Not too many casualties, but an awful lot of cash.
And they don't even have to invest in the rifles as well. They just pick them all up off the bodies here of the G2 side. You know, we've got 2 AKs in play now. This is great from HellRaisers. They are just maintaining this economy so well. And now seeing G2, they have to quasi into this one. A couple of pistols, a bit of armor as well behind it, and some utility just on the back of Shox, but really not too much to really get themselves an opener into this round. HellRaisers not even picking up the AWP yet. We didn't see it once on the T side, and we haven't seen it once on the CT side yet. Very interesting, but Deadfox still going to be doing extremely well here for the CT side, so I'm interested to hear why. But up and towards middle, we're going to see G2 Storm. Apex looking for the opener. He will get a bit of damage, but it's Body to pick up the opening kill as Bondic takes down Apex. They will be wrapping as well into the B site potentially here as we have this banana control in their hands, but these players are sitting in CT, waiting for the players to get aggressive, and Angel will. And Kenny S takes him down, and now a 3v3 in play. Only one more defender on the B site, and that will be 0.
Falling back now, playing from coils as the push comes in. Going to reposition over towards Gardeners. He just wants to hold in the close angle by runes. If they push in and don't clear it, he will have the drop on them. Goes for the face, takes down Kenny S, but Body with the instant response. Now they have enough time to get that bomb planted. The rotate can come over. Sure, they're left in a 2 versus 2. They have a little bit of utility left to play over as well. And those all-important kits. Meanwhile, G2, not a lot in their back pockets. They only have the 1 Molotov. It could be useful, though, into the late round. Shox as well has to try and do some damage as the peak comes towards him. Wanted to get the opening frag upon Deadfox, but it really will not go his way. Body is so low as well. Has to just try and use the range advantage as he spams down. One after the other. Takes them both down in a spectacular fashion. Linking those headshots together. And G2 bounce back into it off a huge interval play there from Body.
Yeah, great stuff there. It was looking like HellRaisers had that round with only 13 HP left on the T-side player. But still, we've talked about it before, HellRaisers money is not having any issues at the time being. They're going to be able to fully equip. And now, Deadfox going to be on that CT AWP here. Good to see. Maybe some aggression down towards middles. He goes for the jump peek, and he's going to actually go for the spot. No one peeking there. The nade comes in. He gets tagged. But Apex not looking for the open. And meanwhile, Bondic, look at this aggression. Just pushed all the way down. Apex does not expect it, and I don't blame him. He gets picked, but Shox is looking for the refrag, and he will succeed. It's a 4-on-4 now, and G2, they are going to be favoured into this round. But HellRaisers, at least they found a bit of damage onto the side of the French.
Yep, getting that opening kill on the board. Obviously, it has been traded back at this point, but still, it helps them as they make their approach through. G2 taking their position towards apartments, but the bomb starts to back off down second mid, showing signs that they might want to go for a rotate back towards that B-bomb site. So much control has been given to HellRaisers, though, as they've slipped their way down Banana, smoked it off, and they take that control. It's going to be so hard for them to work their way back through. Nice sanguine play from Zero as well, as he holds the high ground, hoping if that push comes through, he can peer over the top, try and spam down into them. G2 will just still play it firm, though, playing their cards very close to their chest. No reason to go in too aggressive here and throw this round away into the wind. Just keep up this slow style of CS. You've still got a minute 45 seconds left to play with into this one before they need to try it and speed it up a little bit. Mid control has once again been retaken as they tiptoe back up. Hearing audio cues towards bottom Banana as well. Body might try and take the fight, but realizes it's not worth the risk.
Yeah, with 30 seconds left, they need to hurry the hell up here. Despite that, though, HellRaisers have no utility to hold off these Ts. And look at the entry from MBK, just jumping out of the apartment's ballsy, but it works out. He's got one more to find, and Stiko going to peek out for the peak. Takes the refrag, 3-on-3. And 2 players left on the B side is going to be the perfect setup here. Angel doesn't have to commit to the fight, but he does. Jumps out for the damage. He does get a kill through the smoke. A Zero, he's waiting for the bomb plant. There we go. There's just no time left. He gets one. Kenny S is jumping, but Pistol going to be pulled out, and support from Angel as he comes back in from the ruins. It will be HellRaisers round, and G2 just leaving it too little too late. They were forced to dedicate a player to the bomb plant without even clearing the site, and that is going to be the downfall of them, and HellRaisers picking things back up and getting that reset onto the economy.
Looking very good right now. Obviously, that reset coming in, punishing them. The bias will come back out, though, but interestingly enough, they will just run the risk and go for it. The AWP will come through, passed over to Kenny S, as the rest of them just have armor and these measly upgraded pistols. A little bit of utility to work with, essentially just a sprinkle. And this all rides on Kenny being able to find those openers. He needs to do so much into the round if they're going to pick this one up. Has to get those opening picks on the board and allow his teammates to burst their way through and try and close out the round. Aggression on display as he tries to take that angle towards mid, hoping to find a pick towards that A-bomb site. His teammates just holding towards bottom banana as well. They know HellRaisers has been getting a little bit aggressive in the prior rounds. They try and take that bottom banana control. If they can stop that, it does help them out as Kenny gets ever closer towards top mid now. Working his way through, spotting towards quad. Isn't going to find anyone playing underneath bow because he then clears the other angle. What will he actually find though? No one's still there. As his teammates slip through, they have good communication. They have this push through towards the A-bomb site, but Bondik is in a prime time angle to try and ward them off if they go for this play. Limited utility, but the flashbang should go over, and then go for the angle peek. Kenny S with the contact AWP as well. Peek comes over, smart stuff from Bondik, will not try and run the risk. Flashbang goes in, backs off to the bomb site now to try and aid his teammates.
And this wraparound from Apex and Kenny is going to be perfect. They're splitting onto this bomb site, but there's still 3 players left and not a lot of time. G2 need to hurry up, but Kenny, great kill there to take down Stiko early on. Looking for the second pick to enlarge the man advantage here for the T side. It's DevFox. He's positioned perfectly, waiting for the push, but Bondik on the site. One quick kill. He needs the support from DevFox, but he's already been removed from the equation by MBK. Bondik jumps up. He gets himself 2. Lots of damage. Pistol going to be out, but he gets overrun. Shocks with the running Tech 9. Does drop him eventually, and 2 players will remain for HellRaisers, but the bomb, it's not been planted. They need to hurry up with that. 15 seconds left on the clock. Eventually it will go down in the hands of Shocks, but this is still a doable retake here. MBK's not even found himself a gun yet, and 2 of the players are significantly tagged up here on the G2 side. Zero is going to be looking for the opener, but both these players pushing from the same angle. Very, very risky, but at least they have that trade potential.
Kenny trying to go for the pick, but it doesn't really work out that way. But the seconds will lands it. Hungry for the third, but Angel with a nice little tap straight into the cranium. Switches out to the AK. But most likely will back off at this point. Not too much he can really achieve into the round. Hungry trying to find a secondary exit frag, but not worth the risk as he realizes it's time to just get the hell out of there. Bomb will go off. That's going to be the 10th round on the board for G2. They also save this up. You'd imagine Shock's trying to get out of the bomb radius, which he has done now. And HellRaisers, you're going to ask the question, will they be able to work their way back through and try and pick up this round, reset them once more? Or G2, is this going to be the start of them looking good? A little bit of damage has been done to the HellRaisers economy as well. You can see 2 players on 2k there. Not as healthy as you'd want them to be.
They can definitely get a buy up here, but this will be their last. It's G2 looking to equalize things up. If they pick up this one round here, this 1 T-side buy, HellRaisers is going to be forced to eco, and then it will be 12-12. So that could actually be really, really good for the side of G2. HellRaisers just been reset off the back of their own reset, which is quite interesting to see. So the economy not stable for either teams right now. Both of them need to force the opposition into the eco. We are going to be seeing such a crucial round here to decide the fate of this second half. There's already G2 going to be giving up all the banana control they can to Zero, just spraying in through the smoke, takes down MBK, and the deep smoke as well, going to allow HellRaisers to push up if need be. But after that pick, there's really no need to, right? They can just play passive. They've got the man advantage. G2 are now struggling to get themselves a refrag, and if HellRaisers go aggressive and feed one into them, it's going to be very, very difficult to come back from that. A 4v4 does favour the Ts quite significantly.
That's true. They're in a good situation to try and work their way through, but they need to get that trade back, get themselves into that 4 versus 4 scenario. If they can get that opening kill, it's still all to play with. Banana control, though, has been very good so far for HellRaisers. They haven't even tried to really contest them. They've just allowed it happen in these previous rounds, as there's no point if they don't clear the Angel as well. It's going to be so hard. Angel, primetime angle, peeks out, will get the opening frag. Apex with a response, but Zero, elevated angle. He has the high ground. He knows how to use it. Beats down the opposition, leaving Shocks to try and claw them back from what essentially is already a defeat into this round. HellRaisers looking so good at this point. They have their angles covered, playing 2-2 to a site. They can just hold back. Shocks making his approach towards B, hoping he can at least find something, potentially an opener, find a 1 versus 1 to allow him to slip in, but it's going to be so hard. No reason for these CTs to peek. Nade will roll in as well, getting him even lower now, almost sub 50 HP, tagged down to 7 as well off the initial face that comes through from Bondic, and there's going to be the frag.
13 rounds of HellRaisers, very back and forth. If we look at the scoreboard, we can see neither team being able to really establish an economy here because of the rounds being so up and down. So loss bonus really is not affecting anything right now. As you can see, G2 invested all their money into the previous, leaving them on just 1,500, and they're actually just going to reinvest. Like we saw the round previously with Kenny S picking up that AWP and the rest of them just on Tech 9s. This time it's far weaker. Just Tech 9s and a P250 on MBK. Not a great buy at all, but I don't blame them for investing here as HellRaisers. They still haven't built up their own CT side economy. And look at Bondic. He's even going to be left on a USP here. They are that weak right now. Neither team having fully bought up. And DevFox and Angel going to be limited to UMPs. Well, I say limited. Those guns are broken right now. So actually very effective. But still, G2, they're going to have to pull something magical out of the hat as they force themselves up in towards middle again. Been very aggressive on this control. Bondic going to back off here. Might have to throw down the resmoke, and he will have the utility for that, but it's Stiko to open things up over towards short. One quick kill, they're going to flush out of the apartments. He needs to be aware, has to get the reload, but he just gets a shot off with 4 bullets left. Pistol going to be pulled, and he goes for the shot, does eventually connect it onto Kenny. 2 players remaining, but it should just be the cleanup. Despite that, though, Body, he finds one more.
Push comes through over towards Pit. We'll find that headshot in the end, taking down Stiko, upgrades to the M4 as well. He's in a good situation. 4K on the board. Hungry for the 5th as he went for the peek through, but Zero was able to take him down. Zero top fragging for the side of HellRaisers as well. He's looked sublime towards that P-bomb site defense. Has not been able to give away any banana control. It was good over as well in his first T-half. HellRaisers now, they're in such a good position to try and close this game out. G2. Once again, the bite is going to be lackluster. Oh. The only rifle they have to play with is Body on a measly Galil. Meanwhile, HellRaisers looking like this should be an easy one picked up to get themselves match point locked down. Aggression up second mid, though, coming through for G2. What could potentially be an apps burst or just a mid burst. This is first round. It will be the mid burst. They're trying to work their way in. Body leads the charge with that awkward bite. He does get warded off, though. Flames all around him. You can see this has really thwarted their game plan. They wanted to just try and overwhelm them, use that speed, drive by potential, but it really has not gone that way. Once again, now regrouping, burst through the smoke. Bondic gets the information, but unfortunately no kills to his name as he has to back off. They're starting to take a lot of map control, but Stiko on the site will cause a stir. Playing from Pit as he gets the 3K, ripping his way for everyone that peeks into his crosshairs, leaving just MBK to be beaten down.
Yep, this is just falling apart, and that's the thing as well. G2, usually in those kind of rounds, you need to either burst it fast, or if you're going to go for a slow play, have some map control, right? Because as soon as they push their way up towards the middle, look at the reaction of HellRaisers on the minimap. They pushed aggressively down Banana, got that information, went, okay, right, Banana's clear, so they're very likely committing everyone towards EA site. As a result, they rotated Zero in from Arch to support, and HellRaisers just had the perfect setup with a continued Banana aggression. So G2, if they're not going to fast burst that and run through the Molotov, or at least smoke it off, they should probably have a flank player just to hold the rotations. But either way, this is getting down to the wire now. HellRaisers about to pick up the first map, unless G2 with the 3rd force in a row can pick this one up, which is looking unlikely. We could be seeing the CT side actually prevail here over on Inferno, but let's not go ahead of ourselves. As we can see, aggression down Banana early on. We do have G2 once again taking control of apps, this time playing it far slower, and I like this one. The burst hasn't been working previously for them, so maybe just try and go for those picks. HellRaisers is very likely to play aggressive after quite a few pushes down Banana so far. Good potential for G2 to grab some guns and get into an empty site.
Setting themselves up right now. Still, they realize this could be the end of their lifeline if they lose this round. So they don't want to run the risk of going overly aggressive. Push comes through. Zero back in his vintage angle. Does give the game away, though. Fired off a couple of pot shots. They're going to be aware of that position as he has to fall back now. The nades roll in to force him out of that aggressive Banana control. And you see G2 as well repositioning, thinking maybe this is the time we can go for that B play. We know he has had to fall back from his vantage point. Try and take the aggression. We have a lot of utility left to play with. Smoke off the angles. Molotov over as well. Use the flashbang so we can get our contact into the site and see if we can actually potentially get an opener. The Deagle on Kenny S. The Deagle and MBK could be so damaging if they can find those opening frags, if they can get an angle. The push comes through, though. Will this just be a spray down? Zero. 6 shot as he lands the headshot, but it allows you the Tech 9 to do all the damage as Body tears his way through the reserves on the site, takes down the frontline infantry. Sure, the nades start to roll in for HellRaisers. But the T's already in very good angles.
Nice Molotov though, that should force out Shox here, and he will just go for the peak, doesn't matter. Tech9 going to work perfectly in that angle as he takes the head off of Bondic, and already HellRaisers are going to be throwing in the towel as they run back towards the A site, tail between their legs, and try and hold on to their guns for a next round. G2, they finally picked one up. The 3 relentless force buys, and Apex, he doesn't even want them to save any rifles. He's got nothing to lose here as he chases down these opposing CTs. He spots out Stico, good damage, the nade, that should dunk right on as it goes into the pit, and it will be the kill onto Stico, leaving just Deadfox here in the pit. Apex knows it as well. He's going to start to clear it, just pre-firing. Flash goes in, perfect, but Deadfox going to be there to react. 2 kills for him, and they should just be able to overrun him. No, apparently not. Deadfox is the master of saving. The nade will rain in eventually, though. Kenny S going to be able to take him down, but still, G2, despite losing all those players at the end of the round, they managed to finally pick one up and impact the economy of the CT side.
Yep, leaving it with a nice firm dent there. They're going to have to take that one to the impound, try and get that checked out. I don't think that one's going to buff out very soon, though, as they do go for the buy. Not looking too great as they work their way through. Deadfox as well. Not a lot of cash, and you will have to skimp on armor. Just basically upgraded pistols. Limited utility as well. Angel still has a fair bit to play with. But still, they might be able to ward off the T's, but they need to get lucky finding these opening kills, as their arsenal really does not complement them.
Not at all, but at least they'll be able to get a buy in the upcoming round here, as they've only half invested and just holding on for the time being. A bit of aggression in Apsa, triple stack over towards Banana, just changing up the setup, and that's good. Keep G2 guessing. They don't exactly know what they're going to be playing up against. Nice nade will land in there, but a counter nade just to do some damage off the edge. Not going to impact too much. Only Zero and Angel tag down a little bit. G2 just holding on towards his mid-control, and Shox holding outside of the apartment. Stico pushes a free kill for Shox to open things up. And HellRaisers already losing out on the man advantage, but it will be traded.
Deadfox there. Getting that opening frag. Nicely done, but unfortunately the trade's coming back in. It's not really what they want on the side of HellRaisers. Apex, as he spams away with that rifle, slaying everyone in front of him. MBK as well, holding towards bottom Banana, so if the push comes out from Angel and co, he surely will find the kills, but they have a fantastic little crossfire setup. Angel playing anti-flash as well, so they can push their way in, but he will actually be, he won't be right at all, but it doesn't matter as MBK finding his opening frags, he just tears his way through everyone. Zero does respond with a deagle from the power play position, but unfortunately Body was just able to tear his way through him. Now the cash is back in their favor though. Still, they really need to try and work their way into it. G2 starting to get rounds on the board. This will be number 13 if they can pick it up. The buffer that HellRaisers had to try and close the game out is starting to dwindle away.
Bit by bit, G2 clawing their way back into the matchup, though it's definitely not over either way. And HellRaisers going to try and close it out in this one, because again, if they leave it too long, G2 are going to have such a built-up economy, they could even go for this AWP in play, so they need to be very, very careful. They lose out this round, it's going to be probably 14 to 15 before they can even reinvest in a proper buy here. They should be going the next, so coming really down to the wire in this matchup, which is something, well, after the first half, I think we can agree is very, very expected with an 8-7 scoreline. But up in towards middle, G2, again, giving up all this banana control. HellRaisers is just going to be taking it every single time. No pick will come this way this time, though. But still, they are allowed to push all the way down with no reaction from the T side. They should be throwing in those nades, throwing in those mollies, and even spamming the smoke just to take down these CT-sided players. But nothing's going to be happening. Instead, they push up in towards middle. But 4 players in position here, and HellRaisers playing very, very closely on the CT side over towards Quad and Arch.
On the ground, though. HellRaisers trying to play very far back. Zero once again in this prime time angle. He's done so much damage with that aggressive banana control. Could be the difference maker if push comes through. MBK still trying to plant that seed out in their mind as they use an awful lot of utility towards that A bomb site. He's going to be holding for the late round rotate. The T's at top mid, they're the ones that need to do the damage. Oh, actually the kill stop to come through though. MBK will find the frag on towards Zero, but there's the trade back from Angel, taking him down. They will try and take that play towards the B bomb site now though, aware that Zero has been removed from such an effective angle. Angel holding back, the nade will go in, trying to ward them off as the push starts to come in. Transferring that information over. The audio cues finds the opening kill as well. That is so huge as he delays them for the right amount of time. Can't reposition round. Unfortunately, Shox causes a stir. A flurry of bullets go landing into the corpse of Deadfox.
A 3v3 retake going to be on here as G2 get that bomb down. Shox is tagged, but he has time to rotate back on. Hot on his heels is going to be Stico. They're coming in through the bottom and middle, but we have 2 players retaking here from the CT side. Angel going to be coming in from the back of Ruins with the support. of Bondic, and here we go. Shox is going to face the first player. Stiko coming in, doesn't check the angle, but he still gets a kill. Shox was so low there, it was made difficult. And Apex, he gets another one. 2 for him as he takes down Bondic and Angel. It's all down to Stiko. Nice spray, but he can't connect the second shot. And Kenny S now, last man standing, pistol going to be out. He's 3 HP, 7 bullets left in the clip, but he has to go for the fight. And Kenny S is baiting. He's just playing with his food before he takes it down. And G2, they've got themselves 13 rounds. Now HellRaisers are going to have to eco, and we could be seeing OT.
Definitely potential at this point, because obviously the economy of HellRaisers is not looking healthy. Getting pinned down and beaten up by G2. The AWP buy can come out for a Kenny S as well. He's not looked as fantastic as he normally does with a weapon, but definitely will aid them. They can use that range advantage. Only scary factor is HellRaisers go for a little bit of an aggressive play, saying potentially stock and all to try and get this round over with. Run the risk that it might pay off. Could be overwhelmed.
Yeah, they need to switch up the stacks here. They need to go for a full site stack. Maybe only one player towards a B site, for example, because G2 have been putting so much aggression early on towards middle. If we see, you know, a re-smoke cycle down on Banana, it could force G2 to hit in towards mid, where HellRaisers could have stacked, for example. We've not seen anything of the sort. And I think G2 are just reading HellRaisers at this point. They know exactly where they're going to be positioning, exactly their setups, and their rotations seem to be caught on guard by G2. You know, we saw Shox aggressively over a mid in the previous round to catch himself a free kill to equalize things up. So G2 have been doing very well in that regard. And now going into this one, HellRaisers is just rinsing and repeating this same damn setups here on the CT side. It's really catching them off guard because they are not getting anything into this half.
Smoke goes through, trying to block off towards CT. That line of sight completely removed now. You can see Deadfox having to reposition towards the bomb site. Body, basically the only man towards B, just trying to delay, trying to get some openers and really punish them a little bit. We'll only find one frag before he's traded out. MBK is close by, holding the angle as he just taps away with that M4. Gets a lot of information, but nothing else.
The pick is still important. Goes either way though, as 30 seconds remain. They have to get themselves onto a site. MBK, if he goes down here, it's very, very dangerous. Does have to back off and reload, but he will continue to peek as he pushes in. This is going to be clear now. They know the push is coming in. The CT's yet to rotate on, but still, Angel finally going to be dropped from the site as MBK takes the opening kill. And G2, they do have the control of the B site now. HellRaisers is now left to retake, or at least catch at 6 frags. That should be what they should be focusing right now. I think just hold on with the pistols, play passive positions, and wait for G2 to walk into your crosshairs. You can grab an AK, grab some orbs. We won't be talking about impacting the economy at G2. We're more kind of helping HellRaisers get that final buyout in the last round. Because right now, with just a couple of Deagles, PT50s, and CZs, they're not exactly going to be wanting to hold on to these into the next round. They need those AKs so they can at least buy up full nades alongside them. But you can see the Ts know exactly what's going on, and they will be waiting until the last second to push out of the site. There's no way they want to lose any guns.
Yeah, no reason to throw those into the wind. Just hold back right now. Wait until time has ticked sufficiently away. Then get out of there, exit together towards spot and Banana, and just hold it. No reason to push through in towards mid, just in case a frag does go the way of HellRaisers. Cash comes in. Sure, they have enough to get a buyout into this, but it's going to be so hard. They need to close the game down here and right now. 4 rounds on the trot have come through for G2. Will this be round number 5? Can they work their way to overtime? Or will HellRaisers actually find an answer and try and stop this reign of terror?
This is so close. To be honest, HellRaisers without the AWP, that's also a limiting factor, right? They've got the utility, but Deadfox has been very, very good with the rifles, and even when he has picked up the AWP, that as well. So, G2, I'm expecting OT here, but let's see if HellRaisers can at least surprise me. The setup going to be, once again, the same as usual here. We do see a bit of a swap, though. Angel over towards the B site, and Bondic rotating back in towards A. G2 just taking their time for the time being, and no aggressive banana control here on the CT side. They will be going for a little bit of a peek down towards Car, but the smoke, it eventually does go deep. That allows them to push down, and G2 again forced into the same setup, likely going to be pushing up towards A as they usually do, leaving just one player, either Shox or MBK, just to hold back for the time being. But HellRaisers is eventually going to relinquish that banana control as they've utilised all of their smokes. Actually, no, Zero still has one, but G2 has still got this aggressive mid-positioning, and HellRaisers just holding on for the time being. At least they're playing this one passive.
Playing it smart, not giving away any free openers to the side of G2. Zero as well in the past. He's been the reason they've been able to lock down that B site so much. In the rounds he's been picked off early, that's where they've lost it. As soon as they get that control towards Banana, the rotate doesn't come in. It's a very slow rotate, as Angel doesn't want to over-rotate in terms of if it could be a fake, and things all fall apart. A contact star will be coming their way though. Zero playing far back this time around, will not be trying to go for the aggressive face. Is this where things will change?
Fake smokes down on towards B, won't cause a rotation, but the time is low. G2 need to hurry up and get on this bomb site. They're going to make their way out in towards the middle area. Apex as well, trying to split himself through the apartments, but quick wrap down round towards the long area. Deadfox needs to shut down these players. He turns back around, but too late. Shox has already found the opener. There's a second as well. MBK tapping away, but Bondic does eventually get the refrag. Body will drop another good opener so far from G2. They've got control of the site, just getting the bomb down in time. It looked like it was all over, but HellRaisers, they seem to have, well, at least lost out on far too many rounds here on the CT side. They've got 2 players remaining. They've got to go for this retake. And frankly, Jackie, I think it's going to be all over. I think we're going to OT.
Seems like it as they make their approach through. They're going to have to do something absolutely insane if they want to try and pick this one up. Flashbang goes in to try and allow them to entry their way through, but Kenny S has dispatched Zero. Angel arrives on the scene of the crime, but will be taken down for a smoke by Apex. 15-15. They will be working their way into overtime here.
Yeah, very, very interesting. And to be honest, after that one, you know, you got to go. What's happening for HellRaisers here? They had the 15-10. They had it about to close it out, forcing G2 into eco. We saw that triple force buy in a row, and eventually it worked out with the 3rd force. But at that point, you're thinking, why are HellRaisers throwing away all these rounds? Why are they not switching up the setups? Why are they maybe not going for some aggression? We've seen a lot of passive stun, a lot of banana control, but other than that, they've not been doing anything down mid, anything down second mid, despite the economy being in their favor at multiple points. We never saw the AWP. We saw it once or twice for Deadfox on the CT side. Really weird to see them kind of not switching anything up at all, and G2 completely reading that one.
Yeah, it's true. They just had no answers there, and we saw them just essentially get shut down. It was really odd as well, uncharacteristic of them, as it was a dominant performance so far. As soon as they got into that CT side, they had some good decision-making, and they were bending very easily. They were being able to reposition, things were adapting, then all of a sudden, they just had no answers. They fully broke and just didn't return to form from that point. It seemed like they just got complacent, and they had no ideas left. The playbook seemed dry towards the end of that matchup.
Yeah, that is one of the things, right, with Inferno being reintroduced. So a lot of teams don't seem to have really found their form on the map. For example, in maps that are outstanding, that the teams still play regularly, you obviously see a lot of setups, because on the CT side, they're going to be aware of what to do, and they're going to have, okay, if this doesn't work, we'll do this. But maybe on Inferno, these guys only, you know, maybe they've not put as much time into it. They're thinking, okay, let's just keep repeating the same setup. All we need is 1 round, right? 1 out of 5 until G2 bring it back. And eventually it just fell apart because they were just repeating the same thing. So hopefully when we go into OT, we'll see something different from HellRaisers. I want to see the AWP on the first round straight away from Deadfox. I want to see him go for a pick down mid. I want to see him do something with that. We never saw him play the AWP on B. Again, something very, very good that we saw really Shox in the first half on the CT side do to shut down HellRaisers. And we need to see something like that. We need to see it switch up. If they carry on with the same setup, I think G2 are just going to overrun them and take the OT.
Well, that was the thing though. A lot of it came down to Zero just being overwhelmed towards that B bomb site. He was able to ward everyone off very effectively. In the rounds they couldn't actually find that opening kill upon Zero, he was able to get the opening kills very easily and could back off, and it looked good. As soon as he started to fall, that's when the cracks started to show and everything went wrong. But anyway, let's kick it off. We're back in overtime. G2 versus HellRaisers. Let's see how this one will go down. Kenny S on the AWP. We see the Deadfox AWP coming out as well. So will we see that potential contestation stationed over towards the B bomb site? So there is potential, if they try and take that banana control, that he can be there to complement Zero and actually do some damage.
This is the issue. G2 have not even left one solo player outside of B. They're all hitting in towards A, and that's exactly the wrong decision for HellRaisers to have this triple stack on B. I think they're going to realize this sooner rather than later. Is Zero, he starts to back off towards the spawn, finally going to be committing to the rotation, but it might be too little too late. G2 have found themselves deep into the side of A, and while we will see Angel pushed all the way down banana with the support of Deadfox, it might just be too late, because G2 just on the edge of taking this A site.
They do start to reconverge though. The CT's repositioning, thinking that the jig might be up, as they did take a little bit of banana control, and they haven't really got any information that would lead them to believe it is going to be a play towards that B bomb site. Angel playing close around the smoke as well. Zero is going to peek from library. Flashbang goes through. Body spots him out, trying to connect with the spam. Instead, they just have to smoke him off and try and block out that line of sight. The tag's coming in through, but Zero with a backstab goes huge. He takes down Apex and Kenny S. Styko as well, dropping Body. Still playing from pit as he's able to land another punch square into the face of Shox, taking him down, leaving just MBK to try and clutch this one out. 1 frag on the board so far, hungry for more. Is he actually going to be able to find anything? Wants to also get that bomb planted. We'll be able to need a margin. 20 seconds left to play with. Just as the bomb goes down, the push comes in together, trying to enter as a unit. All 3 men barrage their way upon the bomb site, tagging him from multiple angles. Angel will be the one to find the kill. Defuse will come in, and HellRaisers kick off overtime with a bang.
I love that though. Finally going to be making a different play. We have Deadfox, we have the triple play over towards the B site, and no, they didn't find anything, but at least they got the information, right? Because as soon as they pushed down banana with that triple play, they went, okay, it's clear. G2 probably stacking up towards the A site. We hear footsteps over towards A, so let's rotate everyone anyone there apart from DevFox. He can hold an angle with the AWP in towards Banana, allow everyone else to situate in the A site and wait for this push. And if DevFox does find anyone, he clicks away, gets one kill, and can back off. So good setup from HellRaisers. Let's see what they do again. Are they going to repeat it? It seems to be the case as 3 players go once again towards the B site. And that's the thing, G2 didn't really know what setup they had. They didn't have anyone towards Banana. So HellRaisers, they have the ability to completely repeat this without anyone having a clue. So 3 players there, DevFox with the AWP. This time, are we going to see some aggression from G2?
It'll be interesting to see if they do try and take the fight themselves. Actually trying to slip through the smoke. Flashbang goes in. They do spot out a lot of CTs, but they've been able to back themselves up. DevFox with the opening frag as well. Hungry to try and beat them down. He's struggling, but luckily his teammates can aid him. As he goes back in, gets that sloppy seconds, and his teammates dispatching everyone else that was there. Shocks will arrive on the scene though, but it's too late. One man up against the 4 CTs that have just slain all his brethren. The bomb in an awkward location as well as he makes his way up. Does find a smoke to try and aid him on his journey, and another Molotov left to play with as well. He has a minute to try and grab that bomb and do something, but the angle very heavily covered by this crossfire. Surely he gets dispatched as soon as he peeks through the smoke, works his way around, gets the tag off, but Zero will claim the kill. Another round going the way of HellRaisers. 17 rounds on the board now.
And that's the difficult thing with MR3 OT, right? You lose the first 2 rounds, your buy in the third is going to be impacted, and we're going to see absolutely no chance of an AWP, I can imagine, here into this round. As you can see, not even Kenny's able to buy up after investing into that AWP in the first round of OT. The second, he had to stick with an AK, another third the Tech 9, so this is the danger. You want to go 1-1 in OT, then both teams can buy up in the third round, but right now, G2 just struggling here. They've got 1 Tech 9, which again, not too much of a limiting factor. We prefer to see the AWP right on Kenny for an equal matchup. Either way, DevFox this time in middle with the AWP. We got a AAA play default setup, but obviously this is one of the first times he's brought the AWP onto this side of the map, and this is the first time he's pushed down mid again, aggressively looking for a pick. He's going to be spotted, but he backs off safely. Still not going to be getting that opening frag, but Shocks is fairly tagged up.
Yeah, knocked down below sub 50 HP very early into the round will be fairly beneficial to the side of HellRaisers. Angel this time around with the one leading the aggression towards bottom Bananas. Takes a couple of pot shots through the smoke, doesn't really connect upon anyone, but possibly could slow them down before they go for this very fast execute. They're revving their engines, banging on the doors, ready to try and break their way in as they get close to the gates of the B bomb site. Zero in the elevated angle. Angel playing over white coils as well, gets the opening kill, but he relies on his teammate now to clean up as the push comes through. He'll only be able to find one, a headshot upon MBK before he's taken down. Bondic with an easy response kill though, leaving them in a 3 versus 2. They have the man advantage now as the push starts to ward their way upon the site. They enclose their way, edging further and further upon that bomb site, taking their push through runes. Oh, the tag does come out, but they can't quite get the kill just yet. Apex is allowed to get out of there with just a measly 2 HP, but they force Shocks out, then kill him as well. Great play from DevFox as he pulls the trigger to get that frag back. Apex tries to do something, but it's short-lived, taken down. That is a flawless CT half coming out from HellRaisers.
Great stuff, 18 rounds, and after struggling to pick out one of the previous 5 in the last half, obviously, going into this, they are kicking up a real storm. They had 7 rounds on their T side as well of this map in the first half, so looking at this now, very, very good chance they could actually lead this one and maybe take it for the win. Maybe not with, allowing G2 to even pick up a single round on their CT side.
It's true. There is definitely that potential that picking that easily, if they come here hard and fast and actually get an opening frag on their T side, they will shut the game out, and that would be very scary. Obviously, not really the result that G2 wants coming into this, as they clawed their way back. They had a long, hard climb. They finally got themselves into a good position, and now it could be taken away from them.
Yeah, very, very likely, and I like the fact that HellRaisers actually switched stuff off. I'm very confused as to why it took so long and why they didn't do it in the first or at least the second half before OT, because they had those 5 rounds to kind of play around with. They had buys for almost every single one, only ecoed one of the last 5, and then it takes them all the way to OT for them to actually switch up a setup and go for a triple B, go for some aggression, do something like that. But at least it works out for them. At least we see them actually leading the charge after a bit of a shaky second half. And now going into this overtime, they only need 1 round, right? They only need to bring it to 19. So G2 need, again, a flawless CT half. And while they did have a good first half on the CT side, 8 rounds, HellRaisers did pick up the first 7, right? So it's very difficult to kind of make a fair assessment of who's going to pick this one up. But again, just off of the round lead, you've got to go HellRaisers looking very, very likely.
It's true. That's the thing. They did start to come in there towards the end of the half, but early game, HellRaisers were absolutely unstoppable. Round after round, just absolute domination came out for them. And you've got to be scared if that will come into effect as well. Obviously, cash to play with here, so economy isn't going to be an issue for them. So if they want to try and go for that aggressive buy over on DevFox, try and get the AWP out and work that into their strategy, there's always that potential, and that's quite scary as it really does expand the playbook of Angel once again.
Yeah, not only is that good, but we've also seen them be able to do it without the AWP, right? DevFox didn't even take the AWP on the T side, so the fact that they've got the versatility of being able to play around the AWP and also not even bring it into their playbook is great to see. So at least when it gets down to crunch time and maybe they don't have enough cash to buy up that AWP, maybe it won't be as important as it will be for a lot of other teams. And they're actually going to go for a very vigilant buy here, a triple UMP, which is some people will be a bit confused about, but obviously that's going to mean they can fully invest for all 3 rounds and have far more cash to play with, considering they haven't fully brought up everyone down to about 5k of their 10k mark.
Pick comes out though, Kenny S this time around looking a whole lot better on his CT side as he gets the opening frag, trying to go for the no-scope as well, but can't quite connect it. The kill comes through off the Molotov, sending Kenny S to the Burns ward. He is going to be fairly crispy after that one. The rest of HellRaisers though, rallying themselves together as they start to reposition. They're going to nope out of that, try and take that mid control, possibly go for a late round A play. They did get the 1 frag, but losing 2 members of their own isn't going to help them too much into this.
Still a good start for G2 to claw their way back, and MBK maybe a bit overzealous here. I don't think there's really any need for some aggression, but again, if he makes it work, it could really catch off these HellRaisers players. There's DeadFox backing towards the spawn, and he's going to be posted, but not holding the right angle as Bond pushes up to second mid. That's equalized and unnecessary for G2 to go for that kind of aggression, because now HellRaisers have an advantage and a really good chance to get back into this one. But Shox, he's still lurking. Yorp using it like a shotgun over in the apartments as he chases. He hears the footsteps from DeadFox backing off, but I think they may have heard him push up into that second room over towards the balcony. And yeah, Bonnie's going to check it. He knows what's up. He takes the kill, and HellRaisers just off of the push of MBK and the push of Shox. They've taken the man advantage back from a 4v3. Bomb will be going down as well, and a double retake left. It looks like HellRaisers may have just made this one work.
Definitely so, as that bomb goes down. They're in such a fantastic position to try and close out the round. 3 versus 2. This retake is going to be so very awkward. It's going to be such a hard one for G2 to actually achieve too much. Peering through the smoke, trying to find an angle, a potential opener, as his teammate starts to rotate round as well. But there's the opening frag going in favor of HellRaisers, eliminating Apex so easily. Body as well, trying to do something else, but he's forced back, getting punished from all angles as a flurry of bullets comes his way. The headshot goes in off the back of Zero, takes him down. And G2 looked like they were so close there, and it just gets snatched away from them with what essentially was just a flawless overtime from HellRaisers.
And that's a really unfortunate as well, considering the aggression that we saw, right? You have a 4v3, you have the advantage. To round, you want to keep as many players alive in as well, because this is OT, right? Even if you win the rounds, if you're losing players, it's very difficult to still maintain that economy. You have to rebuy, and you only get 10k. So it can be difficult, right? And the fact that we saw a 4v3, MBK get aggressive, I would argue that some forms of aggression are good in that position. Say they had 2 players on Banana, 2 players on A in that 4v3, and they went for a double push down Banana, it would make sense, right? Because they're getting information, they have the ability to trade 1 for 1, and even if they both go down only maybe 1 kill their way, it's still going to be equal, right? But MBK gets aggressive down through middle on his own with no one there to trade. It's just one of those plays where if it works out, that's great, but it's unnecessary.
That's true. I mean, it was just deadly. I think we got some replays coming up from that matchup as well, because there was so many just interesting frags that worked their way through there. Obviously, into the early game as well, you can see some great moments that came out from a few of the individual players, but G2 as a whole performed not great. They struggled into the early game. That CT half took a very long time for them to actually get some energy behind them, especially when we saw Shox on the AWP towards the B bomb site. That was when the aggression really started to show, and they started to work their way back through as HellRaisers. 7 rounds on the trot was scary. And that first half, I mean, it just sort of showed that HellRaisers were dominant in the early round. They had a lot to play with on their T side. They had a lot of map control, but they sort of run out of ideas once their economy left them. Then, when we saw themselves in overtime, as soon as that wasn't an issue, I mean, the buy they even went for wasn't that great because they wanted to try and save money, as you were saying, to have that efficient buyout into all 3 rounds, but they just had the confidence behind them.
Yeah, maybe we're giving too much love for HellRaisers T side. When you look at it realistically, right, they picked up 7 rounds on their first T side. Yeah. 3 of those were obviously 1 the pistol and then 2 the anti-eco. So technically they only picked up 4 proper rounds, and probably 1 of those 4 was going to be an eco anyway. So technically they only picked up 3 rifle rounds in their T side, which actually isn't that great. Of course, we're breaking it down from 7, but 4 of those rounds you can kind of miscount, other than the pistol, obviously. So again, HellRaisers, yes, they had a great start for the T-side half, but if they didn't get that pistol round, that could have honestly been a dominating sweep from G2, because if G2 got the start that they needed and showed the aggressive CT side that they did eventually in the second half, you never know. That really could have been a completely different matchup just based off of that first pistol round that allowed HellRaisers to pick up the long streak.
It's true, it was a massive change in playstyle as well from G2 though. They were playing very aggressive into the early round, but it wasn't really anything that was tradable. When we saw Shox going for those little more aggressive peeks towards the B-bomb site, it's easily tradable. You had his teammates there to try and back him up, but at first they were just sort of taking fights they couldn't really win. Kenny as well luckily stepped off going for those overly aggressive plays towards second mid. Usually he's the one that can get those opening frags, but it just wasn't his day, and it was just a waste of time and really allowed HellRaisers to get those opening frags on the board, which was a shame.
Yeah, definitely so, but at least it shows that HellRaisers have the ability to knock out some of the titans of this event, right? G2 so inconsistent, we talked about it in the pre-game, but it's good to see that HellRaisers is still on form, and may that continue into the second map. It's very, very likely. This is a map that isn't good for G2 at all, Overpass, so good potential for a 2-0 here in the side of HellRaisers, which is something that a lot of people wouldn't expect coming into this matchup.
It's true. That will be an interesting one when we work our way through onto Overpass. Obviously going to be the second map of this series. It's looking good so far though. G2, they need to come in with their A game though. If they play to the style they had towards the end of that first matchup, there's definitely potential. Are you still feeling confident that this will be G2 picking up that second matchup, or is this where the cracks start to show for you? I think
I've got to go with HellRaisers now. I've got to switch my prediction, because not only did they pick up the map that I thought was going to be the one that G2 could at least stomp on, but now we move to a map that G2 just aren't good at. This isn't a map that they ever pick, and this is a map they veto commonly. So moving over, yeah, no, I think this is going to be now a 2-0 for HellRaisers, which is something I wouldn't have said coming into this one before seeing that first map.
It's true, very different to obviously what we expected, but let's find out how the second map will go as we come back from this short break. Stick around guys, as hopefully it should be a spectacle.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, Mountain Dew League, and ESEA.